Hello and welcome to Galatta Plus. In this episode, we're going to be talking about Gautham Vasudev Menon's Vendhu Thanindhathu Kaadu starring a terrific Silambarasan. Now, when I reviewed Gautham's last feature film, the admittedly imperfect but also, in my opinion, very underrated Ene Noki Payum Tota, I called it a fine romance that slides into a generic action thriller. It's the reverse in Vendhu Thanindhathu Kaadu. Despite a nice bit about consent, the romance track is among Gautham's weakest, mainly because Siddhi Idnani, who plays Pavai, is little more than a pretty face. Not a single line reading or facial expression is convincing, and you need conviction when you are making a decision about a man who is about to tell you whether or not he has killed people. You need conviction to play a girl who's literally on the ledge thanks to a dysfunctional family. None of that inner pain comes through. Thankfully, she's the only inauthentic aspect in a gangster drama that feels authentic to the core. The title comes from a Subramanian Bharati poem, Agni Kunjandu Kandin, which has metaphorical meanings as well, but let's leave that aside and just stick to the literal meaning of Agni Kunja, a small spark. At the beginning of the film, Muthu, played by Silambarasan, is literally that, a small spark in the middle of a small village in Tamil Nadu. The narrative traces his transformation into a big, blazing fire, but not in the conventional way. Vendhu Thanindhathu Kaadu is refreshingly not a plot-driven film, but one that is character-driven. This is Jay Mohan's finest work as a screenwriter. The screenplay is credited to both him and to Gautham, and the writing takes us through Muthu's journey in small, incremental, incredibly detailed steps. They could have easily had a scene in the village, for instance, that establishes Muthu needs money and cut to Muthu landing up in Mumbai. But Muthu goes to a relative, and through the events that occur there, he finds himself in a parota place in Mumbai, and it takes a while to get employed there. And by living there, he finds out what's going on, and then he thinks he should leave, and then he decides not to leave, and then he's taken to kill someone, and then there's an act of retaliation, and then we get Muthu firing his first shot. We see what a character means when he says people like Muthu are small cogs in a giant machine. We kill because we are asked to kill. That's what the guy says. Muthu works for his boss, who works for his boss, who works for his boss, and so forth. Usually, in our mainstream films, the conflict is between the big guys, the hero, the villain. Here, our hero is a mere cog in a sub-gang. It's a mere sub-gang that works for a villain who's a Tamilian. And the opposition is a sub-gang composed of Malayalis. Familiar faces like Siddiq and Neeraj Mother fill out a couple of parts. Even the superb action sequences are choreographed accordingly. They do not heroize Muthu. The camera is a blur, capturing movements in real time instead of showing us stylized slow-mo kicks and punches. If there is anything flashy or glamorous, it's only the moves of the contract killer played by Jafar Sadiq. Gautham and his excellent cinematographer Siddhartha Nooni keep pushing the form, holding shots and single takes for a long time with just the slightest hint of a shake. When Muthu tells his mother, played by Radhika Sharat Kumar, that he has made up his mind to go to Mumbai, we stay in that frame for a while, registering the aftermath of that statement without a single word being uttered. In a song sequence, again, we stay in the frame for an entire stanza without quick cutaways. The payoff is a kiss. We're waiting for that kiss, and the static, well, almost static frame makes us wait for that kiss. That's when the cut happens. Another fantastic number is staged within a single room filled with moving bodies, and it leads to an unexpected development involving a gun. A.R. Rahman and Thamare are strong allies as always, and the film also has one of Rahman's most vibrant and tonally diverse background scores in a while, whether it's the heavy percussion during the opening credits or a solo clarinet moaning away somewhere else. Now, each scene, whether it's a dialogue scene or a song sequence or an action sequence, is used to build Muthu. And in his most internalized performance after Vinnai Thandi Varuvaya, Simbu makes you feel every bit of Muthu. There's an early scene where Muthu walks awkwardly because his undies are still wet. That awkwardness, that's the character in a nutshell. Muthu is never calm or composed or cool, and Simbu keeps fidgeting with his shirt or wiping his cheek with his collar or touching the back of his head. This awkwardness comes from a boy trying to fit into his new skin. Muthu cannot believe that this is what life had in store for him. There's the same awkwardness in the way Muthu quotes Pavai even after rising through the ranks, whether it's in a parota shop or whether it's in a gang. You sense his awkwardness, his hesitation. Simbu makes us see that Muthu is not a trained assassin. He is, for the most part, winging it, at least until the fan-pleasing final portions. The layers are fascinating. We see why these men do what they do, for survival. It's not just the fights which they have to survive. That's another reason for the non-heroic action choreography. It's also the fact that they have families that depend on them for survival. They are all from places like Muthu's hometown, and they are here to send home money. Even at the beginning, in Muthu's small village, a postman says that he had to bribe his way to get his job. And this establishes the subtext that money is everything. And to get that money, most men end up doing anything. Most women also. At one point, we see that Pavai agrees to do something just because she needs to keep her job, which gives her money. At one point, we even see a friend's betrayal again for money. The film keeps reminding us of Michael Corleone's line from Godfather 3, "Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in." And the film's philosophical subtext is that once you touch a gun, it will never leave you. It will possess you like a ghost. In a fantastic scene, Muthu's boss asks Muthu to shoot him. The dialogue exchange that happens is both flavorful and utterly practical. Towards the end, there is a small tribute to Nayak, and it made me smile even if I thought it was a needless addition. It yanked me out of the world of this film, but I recalled Kamal's line when his daughter screams at him and says, "Why not leave all this shit to the courts?" He replies that she's speaking from the point of a privileged upbringing which he did not have. நாலு காசு சம்பாதிக்கணும்னா சாவணும். To earn money, you have to nearly kill yourself, or I guess kill others. Vendhu Thanindhathu Kaadu is a fine addition to Tamil films about gangsters, and its most impressive aspect is that it's about the cogs in the wheel. Part 2 promises to be more heroic, more hero-centric, more mass if you will, but part 1, called The Kindling, is about how the mere glimpse of a gun can change an innocent life forever. And that's it about Vendhu Thanindhathu Kaadu. If you like this review, do subscribe to Galatta Plus, and see you soon at the movies.